Hi. Thought I'd better show my face because it's been a while, hasn't it? How are you? How are things your end? My end, things are on the surface looking beautiful, but deep down it's a little bit chaotic. And I haven't been on here as much, and that reflects how much I've been on the allotment, to be honest, because I don't know, this season has just been really tough, and I don't think I'm alone in feeling this. And I mean, you can put it down to the weather, you can put it down to the slugs, but at the end of the day, I think this year I've just been on the back foot since winter. And do you remember when I had to refelt my shed roof, and then I found out that the wood had partly damaged on the top of the roof, so it was a much bigger job, and it took weeks and weeks because we had such stormy weather over the winter. Well, spring and early summer weren't much better. We had lots of rain, we've had lots of slugs, and I don't know, it just gets you in this rut sometimes. Like, you feel a bit defeated and overwhelmed, and then as the season progresses, if you don't get out of that little rut, it just kind of stews there and sits with you. And yeah, I've just not been feeling as highly motivated as I have in previous seasons, but that doesn't mean to say that I've fallen out of love with my allotment. Obviously I absolutely love it here. It's just been a bit of a challenge. I wasn't sure if I wanted to film a video today, but you know, I'm here, there's a few things that we can harvest, and you know, it's not all about the highs. We've got to share the lows as well, because you know, we've all got busy lives and full-time jobs, and yeah, I've just not had as much time here as I normally would. There's lots of exciting things happening in the background, but there's also lots of bindweed everywhere. Look at my archway of bindweed, isn't it beautiful? Should have a little look round. I'm going to keep it short today because when you've not done this for quite a while, just getting out the camera can sometimes be overwhelming, and then I've got to edit it and upload it, so we'll keep it brief so that you actually do get this in the end. But yeah, I know I've got some raspberries to harvest. I've got lots of potatoes that are ready, but I don't think I'm going to get to them yet. And yeah, let's have a little mooch, see what's going on, shall we? So I'm actually filming this, it's the beginning of August. What are we on, the 4th, the 5th? It's a bit of a cloudy day, but it's still quite warm. And the grass has grown like crazy. And I need to replace the strimmer cable stuff because I've run out. My strawberry cages, well, the new updated ones completely need weeding. I didn't get many strawberries because the slugs got them. The potato patch doesn't look that great, but actually it's because a lot of them are now ready for harvest. A lot of the foliage has died back, like this one, and they're all ready to harvest because those are some of my shallots. And then this at the front is all the main crop. And granted, they don't look very full, but I don't think they've got blight either. But this one's still looking pretty good. And that is the potato I'll be using to make my own crisps, or chips, potato chips as you'd call them in America. And that is the Golden Wonder. And I'm actually really pleased it's looking quite healthy, because I didn't think it'd be a very good, vigorous variety, but we will see when it comes to harvest. Lots of potato reveals to come. But yeah, my archways, oh my gosh, there's so many weeds in this video, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Yeah, I've got a bindweed archway. And this year I tried to grow some squash on them, as I have done previously, but unfortunately they didn't get off to a great start because of the wet season, and I think they've sort of died a death and the weeds have just taken over. But in the middle, you might see these strings. I actually planted some outdoor tomatoes, which I've never really done before. Well, okay, maybe I did, but it was probably like 6 years ago. And these are some really unusual varieties. And they're not doing too bad for saying they're outdoors. They're flowering. Got a few small fruits on the way, but just a bit of an experiment really, and a way of using the archways that I haven't really done before. Apple tree is covered in apples. Hoping that we get a good crop from them this year, because I didn't get any last year. Almost forgot about the raspberries. I need to get a little bowl so that, oh god, falling over, so that I can harvest some, because they are looking very, very ripe. And the raspberries are absolutely delicious. We have a pot. One of the things you got to remember when you come to the allotment now, it's like, oh yeah, have you remembered something to carry your crop in? Okay, weaving past these tomatoes. Ugh. To get to, here they are. Joan Jay, looking delicious. There they all are, hiding under the leaves. Autumn fruiting raspberries. This is just the start. We've got lots and lots of flowers and fruits on the way. They've got to that point where they're so ripe they might accidentally just fall off if I pull them too hard. But yeah, my favourite raspberry variety is Joan Jay, and they are so big and delicious. I recommend it to everybody. I think we're just going to get a small handful of these today. Some of them are still ripening. That'll do. Well, it's thirsty work doing all this talking. So sweet. So delicious. You really don't get that sweetness and flavour in a shop. They just taste like watery mush, I find, don't you think? This is the bit that's probably looking most beautiful right now. My main border. And in this front section I've planted a lot of my dahlias along with some cosmos, and these are all the same dahlias that I grew last year for the wedding. So that one is called Petra's Wedding. Mostly the whites that are flowering, but we've just started to get some of the oranges, such as this one, which is Kernel Bronze, and yeah, lots of cosmos. We've got this lovely dark one here. Lots more pom-poms. Been a bit slow to get going because we've just had such little sunshine throughout early summer. Feels like summer's only really kicked in over the last sort of, I don't know, 3 weeks maybe, 2-3 weeks. And then this cosmos is called, what's it called? Picotee. I think it's called a Picotee. Oh, hello. Must be enjoying it. Nice to see them because, I don't know, it felt like for months I wasn't seeing any of the bees or the pollinators. It was getting a bit worrying. And their numbers definitely seem to be fewer than last year. Now, further down here, you might remember we've got my carrot bed, where I've got a raised bed. It's mixed with like a sandy type of soil. We've got all sorts growing over the top of it. Excuse me, bramble. It's quite a few varieties actually. I remember I just had a couple of different packets and I thought I'll just chuck them all in. I did label them, but the labels are somewhere up there. I'm probably not going to find them right now. But I'm curious to see how well they're doing. Let's have a look, shall we? Don't think they'll really be ready until early autumn, but hey, look at that. Very healthy looking and no sign of carrot root fly yet, which is one I always struggle with. So I think I'm probably going to try and harvest all of these before sort of September time, October, when they really start eating through the roots. But yeah, very happy with that. But yes, it's probably one of my worst seasons ever. I mean, I've got areas that I haven't even cultivated yet, which is unheard of. But I don't know, there's just been such a lack of time and lack of decent weather, and then that results in lack of motivation. I've just been growing in the main patches that get the most amount of sunshine this year. Like this bed behind me, and my dahlia bed's right at the top. They've got nothing in them except weeds. And you'll see, look, all of this. I mean, a lot of this is actually the honesty that's just gone to seed and creates those beautiful little seed pods. So they're going to look really nice in the winter. And that's what most of this is. But yeah, it's just a big old mess. A big old mess. We've got some nice pelargoniums that I bought early on in the season. Variegated leaf. And my carnivorous plant, my sarracenia, is doing great because we've had so much rain. And my acer must have dried out for a few days because it shouldn't really be this red just yet. So need to give that a good drink. And further up, my pea and beans are doing great, although my poor peas, they were looking so good, and I thought, right, I'll come back tomorrow and harvest them because I didn't have anything to harvest them into. And then what do you know, I didn't come back to them tomorrow and then ran out of time, and then we had really, really hot summer days, and they've gone over. But all is not lost. I did harvest some and eat them before they went over. It just means I'm going to leave these on the plant now and let them ripen and dry on the pods so that I can use them as a seed for next year. And it's Rosacrone, it's one of my favourite varieties, so it's great that I won't have to buy any seed next year. I'll just use all of these and have an even bigger harvest next year. But can we talk about how successful this incredible bean support and structure has been? Pun not intended there. It's still flowering. We've got 2 varieties across both of my structures, and I mean, they just look incredible. They're like so tall, and we've got lots and lots of beans hiding in here. Where are they? Trying to find you some beans. Yes, we've got 2 different varieties in here. The Greek gigantes, and also a type of borlotti bean. And they're all just twisted up in here. Excuse the camera work, I'm out of practice. And the same goes for this one. Still got loads and loads of flowers. This lovely cream and white flower is the Greek gigante. I remember I planted these later than the borlotti ones, but they all seem to be growing really, really well. And look, it's already got that gorgeous pattern of the borlotti on that one there, where it's got that purple and green, and these will have beautiful peas or beans for podding and using in soups and stews in the autumn and winter. But yes, lots more growing and fattening up to do on those first. This bed has been a bit of a write-off. My lettuce have gone to seed, or they will be very shortly. But I direct sowed so many parsnips and beetroot in here. The beetroot that are growing are ones that I transplanted. Oh wow, we've actually got quite a nice beetroot going on down there. But I direct sowed so many packets in there, and I think they just got slugged to death every time. Up here, what have we got? Some sunflowers. I picked these plants up at a plant swap, grown by the lovely Bethan, and look at that. Well, that's just enough to make your day. Don't know the variety. I think she just saved the seed from her own plants, but we've got loads of side shoots. I've also got some zinnias growing in between. And then behind all of these, We've got some sweet corn, the white flower over there. I've just suddenly forgotten the name of. It smells really nice. Yeah, mostly sweet corn in this bed. I think I've got a pumpkin plant down there too. But yeah, that's sunflower. Stunning. I forgot to mention that down in the main bed I've also got some squash plants growing, and I have seen some baby squash, but as you know, they always hide under the biggest leaves, but they're in there somewhere. You just have to believe me. Into the polytunnel. Ooh. And well, lots of tomatoes. Aren't really doing much yet. We've got flowers. Some of them have got fruit, but they're still quite small. And again, just had not a lot of sunshine, only in the last few weeks, so not really any sign of ripening yet, which is a shame. I've also got lots of chili plants. Oh, hello. Didn't even notice those. Starting to get quite a few fruit coming through. This will be the cayenne. But this year I've kept them in like 3-litre pots because with it being so gloomy, I just didn't think it was worth bumping them up to another size, because I kind of got the early instinct that we were going to have quite a dull summer, and obviously they need a lot of sunshine and warmth to grow. So, ooh, we still have chilies on the way and lots of flowers, so I think these will be okay actually. We'll get quite a good crop by the end of the season. Yeah, just need a bit of water. They're looking a little bit dry and a little bit thirsty. Oh dear. But they'll be absolutely fine. In fact, it's good to sort of stress these guys out a little bit like this, because if you have too much water, it can make the chilies a little bit, I don't know, not very strong. And yeah, they don't like too much water. So stress them out, gets the roots down. Oh, they're a big tomato. What are you? Is that the one called Big Daddy? I think it might be. Oh wait. Hey, blossom end rot, lovely. That's because of my irregular watering. But yes, most of the tomatoes will be cherries. We've got Tigerella, these little stripy ones, and Gardener's Delight. And that looks like a sun gold that was given to me by my colleague Florence. But yeah, they're coming, just rather slowly, and the plants are a little bit leggy because they don't seem to be getting that much sunshine anymore, especially with my big hedges. They do shade out the polytunnel now in the early evening. Man, that pink is purple even, is just so vibrant. I think this one's called Zinnia Purple Queen, I think. Hopefully we'll get some good sweet corn this year. I must have about 9 plants down there. And yeah, that's how the plot is looking. And this is all of my collection of weeds rather than dahlias. Oh dear. Yeah, so that's about it really. Just wanted to sort of show my face, say hello. I hope your gardens are doing okay this season. I know it's been really tough if you're in the UK. Yeah, and just remember that it's okay to have years and seasons where things just get a little bit out of your control. You know, there's always next year, and you know, I think one of the things that I've learned is that as soon as the temperatures start to drop, I'm going to crack on with the winter jobs. So normally I'd sort of wait to trim the hedges until like January. I'd do my apple tree in February. I'm going to start clearing the beds as soon as I can, mulching the dahlias as soon as I can, and just trying to get a little bbit further ahead before the really bad weather starts at the end of winter, because it just carried on and on and on and on for so long. And I think, yeah, I'll probably start trimming my hedges a lot earlier this year, probably late October going into November, because it all just got a bit much and then it carried on. And yeah, you get to this sort of situation with the combination of poor weather and slugs. On the plus side, I'm looking at my hedgerow now and there are so many blackberries, and I feel like I always have a bumper year for blackberries, but I could probably pick some of those now. Yes, I can. All right, gonna get some of them before I go. But yeah, you know, just stay positive, and just because you have one particularly bad year doesn't mean it's going to be like it forever. And if you lost your mojo a little bit, don't worry, it will come back. It can just take a little bit of teasing, a little bit of encouragement sometimes. We've all been there. But thank you for watching, and I'll join you next time. I'll try not to be too long this time. See you soon. Bye bye.